Aha! Look, friends, behold and be merry, for here is the wizard I have told you of.
Yes. Hello, Hagen of Yore at your service, my lord.
You are you, Hagen? Good! Then come up here, wizard, and sit with us, for this hall is starving for new tales from far afield. Let it not be said, I am an ungracious host. First, you will eat bread and salt, the finest beets, leeks, and onions, the bounty of my realm. It is yours to eat and be merry.
You honor me, Lord Marlon. I am truly humbled by your great hospitality.
Say no more about it. No doubt you'll enjoy my meat and mead more than the reedy fair Lord Gunnar would give you.
Lord Gunnar?
Aye, Hagen, but we shall speak no more of him. He is foul, sour-faced, undurfed grumpkin. He likes to think himself a great commander. Aye, but let me tell you, I've heard quite a different tale from some free riders, who served under him. He claims to have lost his eye in a battle. See, but the way I hear it is he put out his own eye with his own blade during practice. How good a commander could he be anyways? Can't fucking see. Anyways, we shall speak no more of him.
Of course, my lord. I take it this is Lord Peak you are referring to?
Did I not say... Well, aye, Hagen. Since you press me, I mean, Lord Gunnar, the gormless, the gullible, the ungrateful, the Lord of Starpike up his thrice-damned arse! Aye, he has lands and castles aplenty, but they're all ugly and graceless! And what exactly are they protecting that good Lord Karen is not? Night Song, aye, now that's a castle. The Singing Towers, men call them. Though, whether that's from the song of bronze and arrows that always at their gates, I could not say. Regardless, a toast. A toast to Lord Karen. Noble men, and they always should have been reachmen, no matter what those limp stags say, holding back those savage heathen hawks. A toast! Oh, that's a delicacy, that is. Oh, see, that's another thing. Godless, no weirwoods grow near Starpike, you know that. Soil is thin and bad, no wonder, since only on the other side of those mountains you have all those Dornish savages worshipping landslides and cave toads. It's cursed if you ask me. If it wasn't for Lord Ashford down on the eastern plains, Gunnar would good and starve, and we'd be all better for it. But anyway, we shall speak no more of him.
As you say, my lord, but I could not help but note you mentioned some kind of dispute around Lord Karen, was it?
Yes. Yes, that all goes back a long while. Once was that House Karen was sworn to Durin's line, back when the stags had antlers. That all changed, though. Back when that fat king came quivering over the frontier, bent on conquest. Sneaky, though, since he had made some deal with the lions from the north. From what my grandsire told me as a boy, that could have been dire, if it wasn't for the fact that the Golden Hand was our king. And the other two didn't have enough porridge for wits to fill their big smallcloths. Anyway, when the war was done, the two idiots were killing each other on the field, and it was Manderly men who led the van when the command went for us to end the war in one great stroke. Anyway, war was done, marriages made, and Lord Karen got a king worthy of him. Way I hear it, King Fatstack, the 30 Watsit, lost most of his kingdom by the time he died anyhow. Karen's better off.
Fascinating. I had heard the war spoken of in the West, but I am glad to get a rich lord's perspective.
Oh, you must pardon me. That's some good stuff, though. Honey wine mead from Honeyholt. But aye, both kings got off too lightly, if you ask me. We should have had fatty peas as well, since they've broken away, and both of them end up with gardener girls to wed and bed their heirs. Comely, Hagen. Very comely. And all know that gardener girls are the most fertile.
I see, my lord. From Honeyholt, you say? I came that way on my journey here. Lord Beesbury's hives are something to behold. It is nothing less than a marvel that he can keep so many, and for so long.
You tell it true, Hagen of yore. Mayhaps growing things runs deep in the blood, for those Beesburys come down from Garth the Green by the way of a daughter, Ellen Eversweet. I confess, I wonder at the taste of her honey with every sip. Oh. Many a man prefers the taste of Arbor Red from the grapes of House Redwine, but wine is for women, and mead is for the stoutest of men. Though strange that they claim they learnt their craft from Gilbert, son of Garth, a man, when mead came from a woman's work. Ha! Mayhaps only a woman knows how to truly please a man, and a man a woman.
As you say, my lord, what a great number of houses claim descent from Garth the Green, do they not? I passed through Lord Florence lands, and I heard many a tale of Floris the Fox, and her legendary wit and cunning.
Oh, aye. Though, let me tell you, do not take all these claims at face value. The Florence claim to be sons of Flores. True enough, maybe they are, but there are other houses whose lineage is as murky as Lord Fossaway's strongest cider. Lord Ball says the same, but last time I checked, his sigil are just 3 balls, not a fox. And would you believe it, Hagen, but House Peak claims the same? Can you imagine it? It's only too perfect that a house of such dollards would be too dim to choose someone more believable than the most clever of all of Garth Greenhand's daughters. Anyway, well, we shall speak no more of him.
I understand, my lord, but it is rather something I have always found quite fascinating, that so many of the great houses of the Reach claim descent from a single man. House Bulwer has Bors the Breaker, who is said to have drank so much bull's blood that he grew magnificent black horns. Harlon and Herndon were said to be twins who formed House Tarley, and who were said to stay forever young if they made love with a certain woods witch beneath the light of the full moon.
Ha! If that's so, why are they all both long dead?
Well, as I say, tall tales, no doubt, but intriguing. John the Oak, Maris the Maid, Foss the Archer, Rose of Red Lake, and so on and so on. I wonder how it all started, truly.
You're fortunate, my little wizard, that you came to the hall on this side of the river. Had you taken bread and salt with Albert Fossaway, no doubt he would take your hand and assured you of the grave burden of such lofty lineage. But let me tell you something of an open secret, Hagen. Come here. Down in Old Town, I take it you've heard a thing or 3 about the Shield Islands?
Oh, yes. They were named such after Garth Goldenhand drove the Iron Men out of the mouth of the Mander. They were the Misty Isles in elder days, if I recall.
Aye, so they were, Hagen of yore. So they were. Goldenhand set 4 lords over the islands. House Grim of Grey Shield, House Chester of Green Shield, Seri on South Shield, and a man named Hewitt on Oaken Shield.
My apologies, my lord, but I failed to see the secret.
There have been many tales of late, especially in those parts, about a son of Garth the Green by the name of Owen Oakenshield, who drove the Selkies and Merlings from those islands in elder days. It's curious, wouldn't you say?
I think I understand your meaning. Does Lord Hewitt claim descent from this man?
If he doesn't yet, he will in a generation or two, when the conquest of the Shield Islands becomes just another legend of the distant past.
Does House Manderley claim to have such a legend?
We of House Manderley do not need to tweak and cut our family tree to invent some hidden grandeur. Why should we? After all, the whole River Mander is named for us.
Oh, I see. I had not heard that. How curious.
In the real old days, House Manderley held dominion over the Western Mander from the tumbles all the way down to the sea, but always the peaks sought to bring us down. I don't know why the Foots decided to take the tumbles for their own when they wandered from the west, but I wouldn't doubt it for a moment if you told me that Starpike had something to do with it. Those territories were disputed between us, though Peaks claimed that it was the purest folly. No doubt. Still, the Fordings, Wildflowers, and Kidwills all bent the knee to Dunstonbury once upon a time.
I had not realized that the Manderley realm was so great. I am curious, though, how your house and that of Lord Peak came to bend the knee to the Gardener kings of old.
The Peaks were kings like us, whoever they might claim to descend from now. Merryweather and Meadows were their vassals then, but they were ever greedy, and wishes to extend their power over us. We fought them for centuries across the Mander, and all the while the Gardener waxed. When Gwaine III found us, we were blooded and war-exhausted, and in truth he might have swept us under. Instead, he offered generous terms, marriages, and the resolution of certain ancient disputes. Mayhaps we were kings no longer, but we became the greatest lords of the Reach. At least, that was until the Hightowers took off their crowns.
The kings of the High Tower were the last to bend their knees, if I recall.
They were stubborn, aye, and rich beyond the dreams of most men. But as they used to say in ancient days, he who sits on a pile of gold is bound to attract a dragon.
I had not heard tales of dragons in the Reach.
Oh yes, old tales, back from the Dawn Age, when these lands belonged to the giants and the children of the forest. Lord Willem, right down the Mander, claims to descend from a hero who slew such a beast in ancient days, Davos Dragon Slayer. I cannot say whether there's any truth in that Hagen of yore, but at least William Willem isn't claiming he's another son of Garth Greenhand. That everyone forgot about until he thought to remind us all.
How curious. I knew that Old Town likely predated the arrival of the first men to Westeros, and many at the Ravenry hypothesize that it was once a trading outpost between many of the elder races. But to think that there might have been dragons.
Well, it wasn't a true dragon who came for House Hightower and the gold of Old Town, but never doubt that every one of their neighbors wanted a piece of it. Not my kin. The Hightowers had the honey wine, we had the Mander, and we were content. But the Danes of the Torrentine, the Ironborn, and even the Gardeners all took their turn sacking the place.
Although the second Hightower is said to have built the great stone walls of Old Town in that time to better dissuade such plunderers.
So he did, but it didn't do enough. Eventually, King Lymond, he whom men called Sea Lion, decided it was better to marry a gardener and make defending his city someone else's problem, rather than hide behind his walls and pay tribute to the Iron Men. He would seem to have been wise, considering now reavers and rapers can do little and less to our shores and riverbanks.
And the Dornish? I confess, my Lord of Manderley, I know far less about the peoples of Dorne than I would like.
There is little enough to like. The only thing I value in the men of the Red Mountains is that from time to time they'll bloody Lord Gunner's nose. But we shall speak no more of him.
But clearly there is some history between the men of the Reach and the mountains to the south.
Oh yes, you see, the Reach is the high kingdom of the true men. Whether many houses are descended from him or not, Garth Greenhand led the first men to Westeros, and some call him the first king too. But not all of them kept faith, Hagen. Some crossed the Arm of Dorne from the east and saw the dry, arid, and barren land he was leading them through, and abandoned him, not daring to return through the great lands which they had traveled through. They stayed put and barely survived. They're savages, bitter people, utterly lost and eager for what we have.
And what would you say you have, my lord?
Look around you, young wizard. Bounty, a plentiful harvest every season, fed by ritual and sacrifice. And we have the gods to guide us. The spirit of Garth walks amongst us, through the Gardener Kings. We Manderleys have been kings once, but the Gardeners are unlike any other men. Not even we can deny. I'm not surprised the other houses of the Reach want some part of that for themselves, even if it is the words and the winds. When a Gardener King walks by, offer him your daughters and ask his blessing for the harvest, and you'll see the results.
And if the harvest remains poor?
Then the green god dies in the autumn and rises again with the spring. So it has always been. Blood blesses the soil, and death pays for life.
I see. And the current king, Gawain the Fourth, what do you make of his rule thus far, if I might ask?
He's my king, and he has my loyalty, if that's what you ask. He's a godly man, wary, aloof. He sent men into the forest to seek out the children, but I dare say they're long away. Brandon of the Bloody Blade turned Blue Lake into Red Lake. Nothing up that way now except women and cranes.
So the giants and the children are truly gone from the Reach, you would say?
If there are children left in my woods, they're damn good at hiding themselves. Maybe they've been gone 5,000 years, but could be they never left. It makes no matter as long as they make no mischief with me or mine. If there are any lingering about this place, I would place my wager on the Golden Grove, up Lord Rowan's way. That's not far from the Red Lake, and there's always been something queer about those trees. But whether it is aught to do with Garth's daughter Rowan and her golden locks, or an older magic, I could not say. As for giants, they're not so good at hiding, I imagine. But up there in the mountains, there are many hidden valleys and deep caves. Maybe they're up there. Maybe one of them will come out of the cave and bludgeon Lord Gunner. But yes, Hagen, we shall speak no more of him. I think these tales from the north have King Gawain spooked, if you ask me. Not frightened, but definitely wary. Lord Hightower and Lord Redwine have been ordered to hold their fleets between Pink Shield and the Arbor, in case these new invaders try to do to us what they've been trying on the Blackwater. This Vance, we know of him and his ilk. We are not so foolish as to think they intend to leave our borders be. Not even the heathens to the south would commit such sacrilege that these Andals seem to take in stride. No doubt it will be Manderly valor that sends them screaming home, should they make for the Reach. Have you met any of these men, Hagen? If so, I could use your counsel. So could the king. For that matter, he prefers the council of wizards and witches to his own stewards and advisors.
I have indeed, my lord of Mandalay. In fact, I travelled with an Andal holy man for some months, when I wandered east of the Trident into the lands of Mountain and Vale.
Ho 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 ho! Is that so, boy? Is that so? Well, my drink has been spilt, my plate is threatening to empty, and I would like a tale. A tale of from abroad. Isn't that so, kinsman? Yes, a tale of these Andals and their sort, if you please, and then we will rest, and we can discuss what you have told us on the morrow.
Then, as you say, my lord, I suppose I can share a tale or two. Well, it all began on the Green Fork, when my barge ran aground on a riverbank. I met a man there by the name of Tost, who told me a fascinating tale of what was abound in the riverlands.